Okay, so, all right, so today is April the 7th, 2022. We're getting off to a rough start here. Free conference call has changed over all their controls. It's a real pain in the butt. So, Chris, why don't you talk to us about your Supreme Court hearing? Because a lot of people are really wanting to hear about that.
Yeah. Well, let me get started by saying this. This isn't about the case, but somebody sent me a bunch of 1099As. And then the day that I got them, picked them up from the mailbox, I came back to the house, and later on that night, I got the ones that I ordered, just messing around. Those come in the mail. And then today I got a bunch more. And I've mailed, I don't know, probably 25 or 30 of them out already. I did that this morning. I've got a bunch of stamps, and I had to go out and buy some of these 9x12 envelopes because I don't want to send them all to y'all bent up and folded and stuff. So here's what's up, y'all. If you need a 1099A, I'm limiting them to 2. Drop me an email with your address, and there's already some on the list that I haven't worked off yet, so I'm not guaranteeing that you'll get them, but send me an email. It's Christopher Hauser 248@gmail.com. It's the name with the capital C, the last name, Christopher Hauser 248@gmail.com. 248@gmail.com. And I got a whole bunch of stamps, and I'm going to be working some off tonight and then some off tomorrow. First come, first serve. As I scroll up through there, I'm going to send them out to y'all. But if you've ordered them, they're probably going to be hitting you pretty soon. So I may be sending you a couple for no reason. If that's the case, share it forward. Send it to someone else that might need it. If you get yours ordered before you get these 2, send them on to somebody else. I don't care if it's your cousin or your aunt or uncle or brother or whatever. Share that forward. Help others use these things. As far as the case goes, I have my ideas about it. The defense usurping lawyers did a pretty good job, I think, arguing it. They had multiple questions by the Supreme Court justices there. One of them, Emma, the white-haired, gray-haired lady who was speaking as if she was me. She actually cited the Supreme Court justice, the Kirby or whatever, the female that was way off on the left, actually cited one of her cases and quoted from her case or about the UCC ones having no value. So we got one. I think it's my opinion, or how I feel about it anyway, is that the 2 females on the left and the Chief Justice in the middle, I think they did a pretty good job of convincing those 3. The Campbell lady, that was her first time sitting as a Supreme Court justice. They didn't meet last month, and she was appointed in January. So these 3 cases that were heard that morning were her first cases to hear. She seemed to be stuck in the books of record, looking for that. I don't think that the state, if you watch the guy that's arguing for the state, and that's the same guy in the video from the Court of Criminal Appeals. And he basically regurgitates everything that he said in the Court of Criminal Appeals. I don't think he argued it well enough. And then towards the end there, I think we kind of won over the Chief Justice Campbell. So I think that there's going to be the charge is going to be overruled. But it's not just that the defense done a good job arguing, as it is the circumstances that will arise if they agree 100% with the state. The next step in the appeals process is the United States Supreme Court. And when it goes to the Supreme Court, the United States Supreme Court, what's argued there is the constitutionality. In the hearing that you've seen yesterday, constitutional issues aren't addressed. They're not addressed at the state level. That's for the Supreme Court of the United States. And if you watch it, I've watched it a couple times since then because I'm taking notes and breaking this all down. Emma Tennant pretty much argued it the way that I expected her to. She sent me copies of all their briefs but the thing about this whole deal is do they want it to go to the federal level? I don't think that they do. I think they want to keep it in the state, and that's why we stand a better chance of this whole thing being overturned. Now, the only thing that they argued was half of the charges. That means the other half of the charges they don't want to listen to. And I think there's purpose in that too, because now you have, even Emma told me, she said, look, you could get me for ineffective assistance of counsel simply because I never argued all the charges, only half. She said, I don't care, I'll throw myself on my sword. Well, you'll hear lawyers say that all the time. Well, I'll throw myself on my, of course you will. You're an officer of the court. When this goes back for post-conviction relief, the whole argument that the defense has is about the lawyer screwing up. You're not going to argue, or I'm not going to, because I'm going to argue the post-conviction relief. And, okay, I'm going to play ball with you now because that's what you get to bring up. You get to bring up the stuff that the lawyer screwed up on. And I've got a whole grocery list of screw-ups. I've even got some prosecutorial misconduct that I'm going to address. While I was in prison, I read about a 450-page book on prosecutorial misconduct, and I've got some strong arguments for that. But the only thing you can't argue is the court screwing up. That's not a part of it. That's why the lawyers will say, well, I don't care, I'll fall on my sword. Yeah, you will, because you're a punk of the court. You're supposed to fall on your sword. You're a pawn. You're a pawn of the court. So that's, but see, if they say that it's not a forgery, or actually if they say that it's not a forgery, then both of those arguments that you heard yesterday are gone. They're out the window. And what happens is, though that goes back to the court of original jurisdiction, and the same judge that heard it in the trial now has to re-sentence because there's no 20-year sentence anymore. If they decide to say that it is a forgery but it has no value, well, then it goes back because the forgery charge goes from a Class A felony, 20 years, to a Class E felony, 2 years. And it has to go back to be resentenced. There has to be a resentencing hearing. At which time the judge will, okay, this is the Supreme Court made a ruling, and I have to go with it. Why? Because the judge is the punk of the Supreme Court justices. So, they're right in their ruling. She'll never admit that they're wrong. Blackburn would never admit that the Supreme Court justices were wrong. She'll agree with it, just like the lawyers agree with it, because they're above her. And what she'll do is she'll say, okay, 2 years for instead of running it concurrently is what they did, which meant that I had a 2-year sentence for the filing of fraudulent liens and a 20-year sentence for doing the forgery. Well, I only had to do 20 years because they ran them together. Well, what she'll do is she'll separate them and say, okay, they did 2 years for the one Class C, and then they did another 2 years for the other Class C. That's 4 years. See, now they've only messed up a year and a half. They're only a year and a half off. And that's probably what they do. But see, this keeps this from going to the Supreme Court. Now, if it goes back and we fight post-conviction relief, and the judge says, well, I'm not going to grant you post-conviction relief in anything, well, then that post-conviction relief goes back through the appeals process, back to the Supreme Court, and then they'll decide. Then it can go to the United States Supreme Court. So do you see how long this could take? But I don't think they want it going there. I don't think they want that. They don't want the Supreme Court knowing how bad this state is screwed up. Now, the judges in yesterday's hearing, they knew what was up. They knew that we did multi-million-dollar liens because the one lady judge here, I think her name was Lee, she said she actually referred to judges being lien for $3 million. And that's something you'll notice, too, that everybody said lien. Everybody. The judges, lien. It wasn't until Emma Tennant stepped up and said, look, this isn't a lien. The UCC1 is a financing statement. It's not a lien. And they still think of it that way. Well, they lien those judges for $4 million and $12 million, and that's the way they're going to see it. It doesn't matter how many times you tell them. But that's going to. I was talking to Lavely today. He called, and his cousin said that she talked to the warden, and the warden said that he was going to go be able to go see his dad, view his dad today. That's usually how they let you do it. You don't get to hang out with your cousins and stuff at the funeral. You go to the viewing, and you get a little time with the police or the guards or whatever, and you get to stand there next to the coffin and spend a little time with maybe your close siblings, and then you go back. You don't get to stay for the funeral. Well, the warden told his cousin, yeah, we're going to let him do it. And then today he tells Lavely that we're not. Well, we can't let you do that. That's the way this system works. They're going to tell the loved ones, oh, yeah, we can do that. And then they're going to tell you that's not happening. Go back to your freaking cell. That's how they are. They're cruel that way. So, I told him to say, hey, bro, just be cool. You know what they're trying to do. They're trying to get you to go off so they can put you in the hole. He said, yeah. He said, I talked to my cousin, told him that do a DVD of the funeral, and and send it to him. So that's about the extent that he's going to get. But he was telling me, he said, look, Chris, he said, I broke it down for him, told him about what happened, what I thought about it. And he said, look, man, less than 1 in 100 people get even go to the Tennessee Supreme Court. He said, yeah, they're gonna do something with your stuff. And you heard some of the justices go, well, this isn't the normal thing. You know what I mean? This whole thing's been complicated. I don't know how many times I've heard people that are trying to go with this case here go, you know, this is a really complicated thing. Yeah, it is. It's complicated for the state. It's complicated for the courts. It's complicated for these lawyers and prosecutors. It's getting real complicated. So that's where that went with that. And they even, one of the justices there, I think it was Campbell, she almost busted out and talked about the contract. A lot of y'all have heard my testimony in the videos. They're not talking about the conditional acceptance. This brand new Supreme Court justice, you know, about stepped on her long black robe. She about said the contract. She about mentioned the contract. Well, you know, if there was some kind of instrument, you know what I mean? They won't talk about that. I tried to talk about that with them. I said, I don't know why you guys, well, actually I do know. Because, see, they were arguing that there wasn't any value to these UCC1s. And there wasn't any value to the liens and the false filings and stuff. Well, as long as you're not mentioning the document, the conditional acceptance, well, then there is no legal basis to do this, so they don't have any value. I understand why they were arguing it the way that they were, although I disagree, because it's like I told her. If you would have just busted out one time and said that, hang on a second here, Michael.
Still there? Chris? Crud. Oh, look at that. Chris? Okay, hold on, you guys. All right, we're back. We are back.
Sorry about that, folks. That was Michael calling in, and I tried to ignore the call and ended up answering it instead. So.
Well, let us know when you do.
Yeah, I didn't get it.
It was just.
I didn't get a chat. No, I was just trying to ignore the call. I'll call him back. I just wanted him to know, don't keep trying to call in. But that's if they'd have mentioned the contract, then the state might have argued, well, see, they got a contract, but then you have to argue intent. Is it a false? If we got the contract, how is it a fraudulent filing of a false lien? Therefore, how is it a forgery? When the contract itself is them agreeing. Even if you say that the contract isn't a valid contract, you still can't prove that we did this with intent, and that's what the state has to prove. They have to prove that there was an intent. If we thought we had a viable contract and with all kinds of legal language, then, you know, how can you say that we intended to defraud these people when we genuinely believed that we had the right to do what we did. So that's kind of where we're at with this deal. That's why they didn't do it, and that could have we wouldn't have gone this far if they would have done that in the trial court. If the lawyers would have said, I don't care if you disbar me anyway. Hey, jury, there's a thing called a conditional acceptance. These guys never intended, and the judge is going off. I told you not to say it. Strike that, Yeah. Yeah. Thank you. Slam the damn door. Hey, Michael, let me call you back, okay, buddy? All right. Yeah. So, yeah, he's calling back on the house. Yeah. Yeah, well, anyway, I'm not going to get into it. But anyway, that's where that would have led to. This whole thing would have fell apart if they'd have mentioned that. They still won't even mention it in the Supreme Court. But boy, if they don't almost do it a time or two. So that's where this is at. That's where I think this is going to go. It's probably going to be 3 to 6 months before they even come back with a decision. So, yeah, it's still some time. It's still some time, and I'm sure the guys in prison are chomping at the bit. One of them tried to call the house here today while we were gone, and there wasn't an answer. That's probably what Michael's calling back about. He wants to talk about what Ron said. But
okay. They've changed over all the controls. I think you still hit *6 for questions. But either way, we have some other people now that are lined up for questions. I'll see if I can confirm what to hit for questions. Are you ready for that?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right. 509 area code. Oops. Nope. Wrong one. 509 area code.
Hello?
There you are. Go ahead.
Oh, my goodness. Okay. I guess I watched the court. And,
are you on a speakerphone or something? We can barely hear you.
Okay.
Is it better?
Much better.
No, it's a lot better.
I so appreciate what both of you guys are doing, really. I mean, just both. I don't know if you were aware of it or not, Chris, but there is another Telegram group with realtors that are taking the 1099As, and they're getting other realtors together. They go to your YouTube, and it was pretty awesome to listen to them. I was with the court. I didn't get there right on time. The computer said that I was there, but I had to go back and listen to the tape. And then I was freaking out because I thought, oh my God, what happened to the next session? I don't know where, because they said they were going to recess until 1, and then there was nothing. You were just gone. Period. So there was a couple of people that we were all panicked for you. But I enjoyed watching that very much.
Yeah, thanks for coming anyway.
Me?
I said thanks for coming anyway.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it was very, very interesting. It really was. I enjoyed. I didn't get to see any of the other ones. Okay, so I'm one of the ones that have asked you in the past about, putting liens on step family that they're not even related to my mother, but they were his kids' his kids, and she was married to him. But she had a stroke. Right afterwards, he passed away. but he had dementia, and they hovered over him so that nobody would find that out, and they walked him through signing, over $100,000 out of their trust to his kids so that they would get their inheritance. I don't think he really knew what he was doing, but he did it. There isn't anything that we can do about that. I understand that. But right now, she's having to pay $5,000 a month for assisted care because to prevent anybody from taking care of her outside of outside of assisted care, they sold the house that belonged to her and him, and put the money in the trust. Then he took the money out of the trust, put it into one of his kids' names, named them power of attorney, and paid them and their spouses each $30,000 each, because somehow or other that's legal in that state. And so it left her with not enough to repurchase another home. So she's stuck, and she's not okay. She's been deemed incompetent. She goes back and forth. She's there, and then she's not. But what she wanted to do was get back into her house and have her kids come and take turns taking care of her, which would run her about $1,000 a month, and they're forcing her to pay the $5,000 because they had the trust tied up in an account that took the real power of attorney off, which was my sister, her daughter, off. So I don't know if there's anything that I can do to go after them to put the money back, because I'm not power of attorney over my mom. And my sister is, and I don't think she would go for any of this 1099 thing. I really don't think that she would do it. She would be, afraid that she would somehow get in trouble or change the attorney that my mom now has, and, stuff like that. So I didn't know about that, number one. And number two, I wanted to also thank you I sent my email in for the 1099A. So it'll be my first one to send it in. And I just need to get out of this place. There's mice that moved in, and it's an older place. I got myself into a jam. It was an alcoholic marriage, and so I got divorced. I'm out. I need to get my name changed, and that is a problem because I have started all my processes in my maiden name, and I'm doing the one where I'm leaving, I'm not giving up, Social Security and, all that, but I'm going foreign trust, tax-free. So I am a national. Yeah, and
that's got nothing to do with y'all out here that are doing this. I'm a state national and I'm a foreign national. You still have a Social Security Cestui Que Trust, and it has nothing to do with all that other stuff y'all are playing around with. That's got nothing to do with it. It's a trust. You're never going to be able to do anything with that until you're 65, at least, before you can try anything. So you're safe. You can do all the other stuff y'all are doing, and doing the thumbprints on the stuff and the stamps, and all that other stuff y'all want to do. That's fine. Knock yourself out, but it's not going to affect your Social Security account. That's not going to affect it at all. All this stuff y'all are doing on the side is just a sidebar, of what you. It's not going to affect it. It doesn't matter if you're a U.S. citizen or a foreign national or a state national or whatever. One of the lost children with Peter Pan. It doesn't matter. Those lost children still have a Social Security number. They still have a trust. They're still a beneficiary. There's nothing you can do, short of dying, than to not be the beneficiary. The thing with your mother, man, I've heard that story so many times, and that's what happened. It happened with my mom and her family. My granddad made all this money and paid off the house, and he dies, and My grandma gets remarried to this other dude, don't have nothing but a car, moves into her house, her and my granddad's house. She buys him a brand new pickup truck, nice new car, you know, and then she convinces my grandma to, you know, make a new will. He's got 5 kids, and my grandma's got 2. And so now everything is split equally. Every kid gets an equal portion, you know. So you hear about this all the time. You know, families, second wives and second husbands, and the other kids coming into the marriage. And you know, if your sister's going to stay inside the norm of the legal system, then she probably needs to go to talk to an attorney and find out what she can do. You know, I don't give legal advice. I do what I do. They do what they do. I hate it for your mom. I hate it for your mom. I really do. And I hate it for you guys.
Well, I don't. I don't know what to do to help her.
You guys got shit out of your inheritance. You know what I mean? Well, if your sister's got power of attorney, you can't do nothing to help her. Move her into your home and take care of her all the time. Because if your sister's not willing to do anything, ain't nothing can happen.
Right.
You know.
I don't think I can move her into my home. Yeah.
Well, I'm saying if you say I can't, there's nothing I can, what can I do for my mom? That's about the extent of it.
Okay, yeah. Well,
I meant power of attorney.
No, I know. Yeah. I didn't even know if I was the power of attorney, if I could, do a 1099A for a house for my mom. I know you're not supposed to do that, but if there's, anything at all, because I don't live in the same state.
Yeah, what you can do is do a 1099A for your house and then move your mom in.
Yeah. I don't know if I could do that if she's got power of attorney, though, but anyway, I just wanted to...
I got a question for you. What is the group of the realtors that is going strong on this?
Oh, it's Jarrett, Realtor. Oh, gosh, what is the name of it? Let me pull the...
I haven't
Jarrett
got an invite.
Realty Investors.
Jarrett Realtors Investors.
Yes.
Yeah, I haven't
it's
got
all
an
one
invite
word.
into that, nor have I talked to anybody like that. I've only talked to one realtor that acted like she would put one together. Here's the thing about that, folks. If this is another scam, these folks could be getting your vital information. I've seen, and the only reason I'm not saying that they're not legit. All I'm saying is they haven't made any attempt to contact me so far.
But they talk about you. They reference.
Yeah, they all do. The guy who had the scam going with the dealership talks about me. Another one said they were taught exclusively by me, and that's not true. It's nothing for y'all to sit down and learn this stuff, and then turn around and go, I was taught by Chris. Well, yeah, you were, from the videos. And I'm not saying that they're not legit. All I'm saying is be very careful.
I think they're doing another Q&A on Saturday. I can send you the link, and then you can go to it if you want to.
Yeah. The one realtor that I have talked to that talked about doing a Telegram channel. I said, look, man, don't let anybody but realtors in it. And then invite me, and I'll, I'm not going to tell y'all how to run the business. That's up to you. But I can be the liaison between that Telegram group and the Telegram group that's getting together for people that want to buy houses. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I can bring their information that they're finding and bring it out here to y'all. Say, hey man, this is what these guys are doing. Here would be my question. Is this Telegram group going to help you 1099A, buy a house, and contract it with gold and silver? And are they going to, when they sell it to you, or when the buyer sells it, or the seller sells it to the buyer, is the buyer going to get an allodial title? That would be my concern. If they're talking something like that, then I'm good with that. I'm good with that. Even if they haven't talked to me. If they're out here trying to help y'all get property, the house of your dreams, that comes with a contract that says you bought it with gold and silver, and that you're getting an allodial title, so it'll come off of the tax books. Are they offering that? That would be the one. That'd be the question I'd ask. Hey, these houses we're buying, did they come off the tax books? And then I'd still be cautious about that, because you don't know. And that's what they're going to dig for. When they get you all in here, they're going to go, hey, well, send us $50 or $500 and your personal information, because that's what's going on out there right now, folks. There's a half a dozen people out there claiming to be me right now.
Oh no.
Yeah,
some kind of
there is, but I got messed up by one of them. But I don't think that these guys are scammers, though. They are taking, they take the 5%, for doing it. They actually are realtors, and they're doing the escrow and stuff. They talked about several. They talked to several people that were realtors that were at the meeting last night, I believe it was, on the YouTube, and then they had a meeting, a question and answer 2 days before that, and they were having another one on Saturday. They are helping people find, which I'm not in agreement with doing the 1099A online, but to each their own. But they were helping people get set up with those, and then they're not sending in anybody's 1099s. They're not filling anybody's 1099s out, but they will take care of the escrow on the properties and stuff like that. They don't want money sitting into their account, so they need you to get it out on a timely fashion. If you are taking more than 20% of the money that you spend for the house specifically, and you take more than 20% out, you're looking at, fraud, you're looking at trouble, and they don't want any part of that either. So they seem like they're pretty much on the up and up. I don't know why they haven't gotten around to inviting you yet, but they do enjoy you and your YouTube. So
yeah.
I'll say something.
A lot of them do. A lot of the.
So we have some other people waiting.
Okay.
All right. I wish you well. Tell your sister to get up. Well, I hate to say this because I hate lawyers, but have your sister go. She don't want to play ball our way. She can play ball their way.
I know. She's already been fighting their way, and she isn't winning anything. So I told her I was going to try to take the bull by the reins, but I can't do anything. I can't even get my mom a house unless I move back there. So anyway, thank you for your time.
Sister stresses, when your sister stresses out bad enough and sees that it doesn't work, that's what we do. That's how come I'm doing what I'm doing. I tried to play their way. They don't like to play.
Yep.
They don't like to play fair, so I stopped playing fair too. Maybe your sister will take your sister coming around to that. But thanks for calling in, okay?
Yes, and thank you. And if you need anything ever, I will help any way that I can.
Appreciate you. Sure do.
Okay, let's see. So we got a new button here. Let's see what happened. Area code, go ahead.
Yes, I was just going to ask, thank you for taking my call. I was just going to ask, it's been over 60 days since my trustee sent in my documents, and I just wanted to know and find out exactly what I need to do. My 1099A, it's been over 60 days and we haven't heard anything.
Okay. What did you do the 1099A for?
It was through a realty company, a realtor for a house.
Okay, so you did a 1099A 60 days ago for a house.
More than that.
So you did the OID, the 96 and all that, right?
And we did it all correctly.
Okay, you haven't heard from them yet?
From
Call them.
Call the
After
treasury.
60 days, if you guys haven't heard back from the IRS, call them.
Well,
you
every
can
time
call
I go
them,
to
or
call
the
them,
realtor can call.
We tried calling and we cannot get to a live person, no matter how hard we try or what buttons we push.
Okay, call the treasury.
Okay.
Call the treasury, and if they give you the runaround, tell them you want to talk to the inspector general.
Okay. All right. Well, that was my question. I appreciate you guys.
All right. Thank you.
All right. Thanks for calling.
Thank you.
That's what's up, y'all. If you haven't heard from the IRS in 60 days, they got 45 days to do what they're supposed to do. But you know how it is with the wheels of bureaucracy; they turn slow. They give you 60 days to respond. They always do that. When they send you something, they're going to say, you have 60 days to respond, or you have 60 days to appeal this, or whatever. Fill out the appeals forms, right? Well, if they're giving you 60 days, you give them 60 days. And if you can't get someone at the IRS to answer the phone, then go to the Treasury. Call the Treasury. You're going to get somebody in the Treasury. You're going to get a live voice, somebody in the Treasury. They say, look, I'm having trouble with this. Another thing you can do is go to tax1099.com. tax1099.com. And when you get to that site, they're going to ask you for your email. Well, you probably already have it. If not, they're probably going to ask you for your email address. And then they're going to show you 1099A or whatever 1099A. I think you pull it up. And what you do is you fill in that one on their site like you did the one you sent in, exactly like the one you sent in. The correct information in all the fields. And then you submit that. And they're going to search that 1099A to see what's up with it. And in a few days, you're going to get an email from this website. And it's going to say whether it's been received or not. If it's been received, then they're working on paying you. They're working on paying it out. If you can't get a hold of somebody, like I say, you can't get a hold of somebody at the IRS, call the Treasury and tell them you want to speak with the Inspector General. If the Treasury people explain to them the situation, look, I filed a 1099A, and I want to find out why this stuff, or an individual, right? I submitted a 1099A to some folks, and they filed it with a 1040, a 1099A, a 1099 OID, 1096, and 1040B. And I need to find out, what's up, what's going on with that. They'll search it. They'll say, well, we'll check it out. They'll either send you to someone in the Treasury that can help you find that, help you run it down. If not, call directly to the IRS, transfer you directly to the IRS and someone to talk to. I don't know what's up with the IRS, but I've never had a time that I couldn't call the IRS and punch around on the buttons and get a real person on the phone. Try it, and if it fails, that's what I did. 3 days in a row, I tried to talk with the people at the IRS, and I wasn't getting. They were hanging up on me. Okay, I'm done bullshitting. I'm calling the freaking Treasury. We'll see what the Treasury's got to say. They straighten it out real quick, and that's what I would suggest you do.
Are you still there?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Okay, thank you very much.
What?
Quickly, please. Quickly.
Yes, I haven't. No, it's a different. Sorry, I'm new. I haven't asked the question yet.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah,
sorry.
you switched over right before he. Yeah, thank you.
Okay.
So I'm actually kind of in the same position as the last two callers. I am kind of on the with the last caller about submitting a 1099 and not hearing anything back. We've kind of gone through the title area and they didn't want to do it for us. So fortunately, I'm not officially or legally married, so I'm using my husband as a trustee, and we submitted an 8888 with that, and I certified mail it, so I know they received it, and I'm kind of wondering if I don't see any activity in 2 weeks, what should I expect out of that? And I've already made an account with the 1099, the tax 1099 online, the .com, and I was a little confused about it, so you just clarified that up for me to move forward with that. But I'm just worried that I've tried several other things, and this is kind of like my last Hail Mary, if you will, other than I don't know how else to get the money to them besides that. But I know I can conditionally accept, but I just want to, I've called the Treasury in Puerto Rico and actually talked to somebody, and they had no idea what was going on. He gave me one site to go to. I'll have to look it up, but I did take pictures because I knew I was never going to get that information again. But every time I call the IRS or the Treasury, it's usually a runaround to even get the number to call, and then when you get somebody, they don't know anything and can't answer one question, and it's like all that for nothing. So it's a dead end. But I get the route of the Attorney General, the AG or the IG. I was in the military too. I'm a combat vet, so I have friends still in the military. She's got her booster and all that. Thank you for serving. But some of my best friends are in there, and they're just so swamped with work, and they don't know what's going on. She doesn't even want to give any attention to that because she's stressed already, and I'm like bit about the house at the moment. Thank you. Sorry for that.
Yeah. How that's okay. Thanks for again. Thanks for serving. Try not to stress your friends out. They're stressing out. One thing I have noticed, folks, is a lot of certain has taken that. As far as the 8888 goes, it attacks it. Actually, it already has. It shut it completely down. Yeah. They stay sick all the time. That's why. People with AIDS stay sick all the time. And that's what kills them. It's not the virus that kills them. It's the sicknesses that they get. Their immune system doesn't handle it. But with the 8888, they usually, once they get the paperwork, it's in, like I said, 2 to 3 weeks. It shouldn't be no more than 4. Your significant other is acting as trustee and purchasing the house from, is it a for sale by owner or?
No, we're putting
go?
It somewhat in an escrow account. So I have a buyer's agent, and he's been really great, and he actually had a lawyer friend, so she kind of helped us out, and because she knows she's actually, we've got lucky, and she has a trust of her own, so she specializes in trust law. So we really got lucky, but she's super swamped right now, and we're just trying to think ahead with, I think it's been just under a week, so we're just keeping an eye on things. And I know he's our buyer's agent reached out. Yeah, right. Yeah. But I don't want to be at the time to sweat and be like, come on, that end of the week call. I need that call. Yeah.
But
Yeah,
so
yeah.
he's, we're going over the time in the contract now. So he reached out to extend the contract because we are in contract for this. But we kind of blamed it on the title company because their inefficiency with the knowledge of blind trust to even file it. I can conditionally accept that, and I get that process, and I will if they don't do what I ask, but so on. But
yeah.
That's I kind of
you got it. Just keep waiting, and if you have when that 3 or 4 weeks is up, and if they ain't got the money to use, then I'd be on to somebody over it. Because see, here's the thing.
Should I call the Puerto Rico one back?
The Puerto Rico is the internal. No, the Treasury is not in. The Treasury is not in Puerto Rico. What is in Puerto Rico is the. No, it's not even the IRS. It's the Internal Revenue.
Oh,
the Internal
that's right.
Revenue.
Because IRS and IRS, different. Yeah.
Yeah. See, the IRS is Internal Revenue Service.
Mhm.
Right? They
Clever
are.
Little shit.
They're the servicers for Internal Revenue. No, you're going to want to go. You're going to want to go. If you're going to go through the Treasury, you're going to. Yeah, that's in D.C.
So do I ask for the private side? Is there because when I call, people obviously have no idea what I'm talking about, and I know there's a public side and private side to everything. So just trying to get the number or anybody that would have an inkling of an idea of what's going on to conversate with. That's been, the biggest pitfall for I think most of us is just getting someone on the phone and, able to help.
Yeah, it's hard. It's hard to do. You'll spend quite a few hours on hold for that. I remember when I first got out in the early 90s, and I would be on hold for 3 or 4 hours. 3 or 4 hours on hold with the VA trying to get something to talk to somebody.
Yeah.
So it's complicated. But stay on top of it, and you're gonna.
We are. We're working hard, and money.
That paperwork, when you send it in, there's somebody that opens it up and goes, "Oh, okay, this goes in here, and this goes over here in this machine," and they're not even paying attention to what it is that's on the document. They say, "Oh, here's the OID," shoot it into the OID machine, and then the 96, shoot it into the 96 machine. Most of that stuff is completely automated. So when they put the information in, it's the computer doing all the work. Shouldn't be trouble getting it transferred. Now the 8888 is the money from the 8888 is going to this title company?
Well, no, it's going because they wouldn't allow it. Yeah, yes.
Okay, so the escrow account is your significant other's account.
Yes.
Is that right? Okay.
Well, it's a regular bank account.
Is that a beneficiary?
No, it's not.
And you better get it. Well, here's what I would suggest: as soon as that money does hit, get it out. Get it out.
Right.
Get it
That's
out
what we plan to.
Get that house.
Wire it. Yep. Yep.
Yeah, you do not want to have that kind of money sitting around an account that isn't a beneficiary.
Yeah, we called the bank, and I asked questions up and down about I know it's only $250,000, and is there a cap, and what is this, and blah blah blah. Anything I can think of, I called them and asked because I opened up a bank account with my beneficiary signature, and I didn't have any no pushback because I don't really think they knew what they were doing. But I went up and down about trying to get a wet signature, and she said they can't even get it's all electronic, so I had to sign electronically. But I had them send me a copy, and I took screenshots. So absolutely. That's my dedicated beneficiary. But I finally wrote my first check yesterday, and I tried to use it at the grocery store, and I was thinking, because I don't have any money, I put they had like a gift certificate for $50 for being a veteran. So I used their coupon to freaking put $50 into my account, and that's the only money that's been in there. But the grocery store rejected my check because I don't know why, if it was their machine or whatnot, but I was like, that's weird. But I didn't see any activity on my bank saying it, tried to access and deny because of no funds or whatever. So I don't know if it was their system or that, but I don't know.
What you might want to do is when that money hits his escrow account, is transfer it to your beneficiary account.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? As soon as you notice it hits his account, but once it hits his account, have him transfer it over to yours, and then use that account to buy the house with.
Okay.
You know
all
what
right.
I'm saying?
That would work perfect.
When it's in a beneficiary account, it's hard for the government or even the bank to let it go.
Right.
Okay,
So that was our plan to get it out. Yes.
Okay.
One more, just about the allodial title. Once we go through and we get them paid, then what is our next step in getting the allodial title? Because we already told them we don't want them to register anything on our part, blah, 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 the whole bit. And what is our next action after?
Well, it's all going to have to do with the contract that you have with the seller. If you can have the seller say,
they've already agreed to it.
I'll take. Yeah, if they agree to even $21 silver added to the amount of the price of the house, that makes it constitutional. Then you really don't, because you got the contract, you really don't need an allodial title because you're not going to register the property anyway.
The constitutional money that's in.
If you'll do. If you'll do a search on allodial titles, there's all kinds of information out there to tell you how to get started. You have to go back a little ways. You have to do some research to find out where the original title was at to the property before all the shenanigans started.
Okay.
And it can be done because a lot of people are doing it.
Yeah. Well, I just want to say my name is Mindy.
Yeah, you can.
I was the one that was saying
Mindy?
hi on your live the other day. But I was in the Air Force for 13 years, and I'm 100% disabled. And I went through the DV, and I was in Korea when I got out, working for Booz Allen. Like, I've got a story. So I'm happy to help any veteran going that route because I'm very knowledgeable on even going to school and all that. So I'm a great outlet.
Where was you stationed at? Where was you stationed at in Korea?
All over.
What air base?
Korea. My first base was Osan, and then in 2014 I was in Kunsan. So both of them.
I've been to both of them.
It's changed so much, but I was in Okinawa, Wichita. That was McConnell. Mildenhall, which is England, and then Munster, Montana, and I did 8 months.
That's where.
But I'm originally from Wyoming.
In England, that air base in England is the one where they had the UFO sighting at, wasn't it?
Yeah, and in Montana. Oh, I'm a big, I'm all about the world as a stage. Like I'm so on that level. My husband is the one that pointed out Morgan. What is it? Jordan Maxwell. Gosh, I had a brain fart. Yeah, he's the one that he says that. Yeah, we spoke with him
he just
on.
Passed away.
Yeah, he's the one that
he just
said
passed away last
because we had a Skype call with him because we follow his work, and he.
So we do have some other people waiting.
Okay, all right.
Yeah,
I would love to
we can talk about this later.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thanks for serving. Thanks for serving.
Thank you.
Okay, 337. Go ahead.
Hey. Can y'all hear me okay?
Hey, what's up?
It's kind of echoey. If you can get it off speakerphone, that would be great.
Can you hear me now?
Are you still on
Yeah.
speakerphone?
Can you hear me?
Okay. Are you on speakerphone?
No.
Okay.
She might just have a weak signal.
Okay. Well,
I
it sounds echoey. Go ahead.
I'm
Go ahead. What's your question?
going to go outside here. This is Michelle Elizabeth. Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can.
Oh,
Go ahead,
yeah,
please.
real good.
Okay. All right. I got one question on the conditional acceptance that I'm working on for an employer. Somebody was telling me that because I had a verbal agreement, that I needed to prove that I had a verbal agreement with him, and that I could turn the verbal agreement into a written agreement. What are your thoughts on that? Because I'm just about done with it, and it would actually set me back probably about 60 days.
Yeah, you got a verbal contract with somebody, and you want to turn it into a written contract.
He said that I should. Somebody in the group was telling me that I should turn the verbal agreement into a written agreement because I really didn't have any proof. The only proof that I had was from a text message that I sent to him when I was going to file a complaint with the Texas State Employment Commission for back wages. And the only thing that he said is in response to my question was I asked him if he was going to pay me back the money that he owes me from changing my wages, because what he did was he changed my wages 2 different times. One, when I first started there, he agreed to pay me $13 an hour, and then when I got my check, it was $11 an hour. And then I asked him about it, and he said, well, we'll just see how it works out. And then I said some other things to him, and then he gave me a promotion to manage another store because I have experience in managing. And he agreed to pay me, I think it was $16.50 an hour, and I'd be working 60 hours a week. And then when I got my check, it was $12.50 an hour. So there's several shortages in the checks, and I have all that documented. And then when I went to go to the state Texas Commission, I asked him if he was going to pay me back extra money, and I said, no, I didn't. And then he said,
you're breaking up. Just breaking up.
The only evidence I have
Dad,
about an agreement.
she sounds like she's got the same problems I got.
All her problems aren't that bad.
Yeah, no doubt. No, I'm talking about with the phone.
Yeah.
I think I got what she's saying.
Okay.
If she can come back on here or not. She wants to.
Still logged on, but.
Yeah, I'm here. I'm still here.
Okay, I think what you're getting at there is this guy offered to pay you X amount of dollars, and then he's shorting you, and then he gets you moved to another job, promising you more, and then he's shorting you again.
Yes.
And you're trying to turn this into a written agreement. Or
that's
written
what
contract.
was suggested.
Yeah, well, check it out. The conditional acceptance is your written contract.
That's what I thought all along, and I said that.
Yeah, I don't know how you would change a verbal contract into a written contract without 2 signatures. Because, like I was telling Lavely today, we were talking about how we sign the signatures on the contracts, the prison contract, or the parole contract. And I told him, I said, look, there's only one signature on the parole contract, or the alleged contract. It's not a contract. I don't care how you sign it. It's still not a contract because there has to be 2 signatures on the contract for it to be a contract. There has to be a meeting of the minds.
Yes.
Right? So
yes.
Nobody has a parole contract. Nobody does. They might want to call it that, but it's not really. It's like the driver's license. The cops will say, well, you signed a contract when you got the driver's license. No, I didn't, because there's no other signature but mine on the thing. And that's the law of contract. If you want to say, okay, we said this, and I said that, and then you said this, that's a verbal contract. Well, he's not going to give you that. He's not going to help you convert that verbal contract into a written contract. So,
well, what was suggested to me was that I would send him a notice of what was stated, and then by his non-performance, I would put down what he owed me and any back wages and any future wages that I have lost since October of last year, because I've been looking for a job since October of last year. And I just finally got a little job flipping burgers. You know, I don't care what I'm doing. I got a little something that's better than nothing. But, you know, it's nothing than what we agreed to pay, that he agreed to pay me. And so basically what the guy was telling me is that when you send a notice of, okay, you pay me, and by his non-performance, it turns it into a written agreement. And that's what I was wondering what your thoughts were on that.
Yeah. I would do the conditional acceptance. That way you're owing me right now, and you're already putting it down. But if you wanted to do like I was telling you to do, what you would do is you would send him a letter, right? Certified mail, return receipt. That's a contract. And in there you're going to state, you said you're going to pay me this, and you pay me that. And then you told me if I took this other job, you'd give me 60 hours a week, and you'd pay me that, but you only paid me this. And you contractually agree to that because you signed for this. You signed for this common law contract. Then you're going to have it. Because
right. Well, you know, here's the other thing too, Chris, is that I do have a text message from someone else that worked for him that also stated that he was ripping her off too, and she left the job as well. So I do have those text messages to back me up. But he was basically saying, the guy was basically saying that I needed to cover my ass and prove some shit, you know, so that I don't have, you know, fraud or whatever come back on me. But in my opinion, I'm totally with what you're saying.
Yeah, hit him with the conditional acceptance. And mention the text.
Because I'm just about done with it.
Yeah, I hear you.
Yeah.
You might as well.
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty much almost done with it. I just got a few more things to research, and I'll be ready to send it your way for you to review it. I've greatly improved it from the first time I sent it to you. I don't know if you ever got it or not. I know you've had some phone problems, and I recently had phone problems as well, and I just am able to get back online. I've been set back about 2 weeks. So, all right then. Well,
does that answer your question?
Yeah, I'm just going to keep moving forward.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much. Take care.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. You two have a blessed night.
Okay, 954 area code. Go ahead.
Yeah. How you doing? I have a quick question, and it is actually about 15 months ago, I had to go through a bankruptcy process just because, you know, I was going through financial situations, and my lawyer recommended, in order to save my house, to go ahead and file for it, which I did, and which I agree, and which I've been paying for the last 15 months, which is actually taking about 58 to 60% of my monthly income after tax. And I just want to know if there's anything that I can do to try to, you know, pursue a negotiation or anything that I can get out of this, because it's a 5-year term. It's only been 15 months. And, you know, you have to go, every time you got to do something, you have to go through the lawyers to get any approvals and all that kind of stuff. So I just don't know if it's anything legal or that I can do to, you know, to get out of this.
Yeah, well, 1099-Cs were filed on all your debts. What chapter did you file?
11.
That's what I thought. That's what it sounded like while you're explaining it. All those debts are paid for, and they're taking money from you. You could ask the attorney, say, hey, was 1099-Cs filed?
Okay.
Ask them if they filed a 1099-C. Hey, was there 1099-C filed on every one of those debts? Oh, there was? Well, 1099-C is a cancellation of debt. How come I'm paying you? The debt's been canceled. How come I'm paying you? The only way that you could be paying them is if you're paying the taxes that are due on the 1099-C. A lot of times when the 1099-Cs are filed, then you owe taxes on that. If it's a 1099-C that's $10,000, then for a $10,000 debt, they're going to say that you owe taxes on that. Why? Because that money that they took from your trust to pay that debt was like income. Now you got to pay some taxes on it. That's what I'm saying. Because ask the lawyer if they did the bankruptcy trustee file the 1099-C. And that's what I would find out. Because if that's the case, the debt's already paid. And they're wanting you to pay. So if I'm paying and it's already paid, then there's some double dipping going on here. What's up?
In case it's a 1099-C already filed, what do I do then?
That's what I'm saying. What you would do at that point, you're putting them in a position where they're about to tell you that the debt's already canceled. If the debt's already canceled, then if they filed a 1099-C, the 1099-C is a cancellation of debt. Okay, if the debt's canceled, why am I paying this money? Why are you taking 60% of my income to pay a debt that's canceled?
Understood.
And then what you're doing is you're setting them up for conditional acceptance. Well, I talked to you on the phone, and you said that the 1099-Cs were filed on every one of these debts. You're going to be able to put that in your facts. Then you can use the language in the instructions for the 1099-C, what says right here in the instructions in 1099-C, that when you file this in a bankruptcy, this is it.
Understood.
You're setting them up by calling them and asking that.
Understood. And if they haven't filed the 1099-C?
They have. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Ask. Oh yeah.
Okay.
They do that. The debts. That's what a bankruptcy is. It's a cancellation of debt. And then they turn around and they try and sucker you into paying the money back. And what they're doing is they're canceling the debt from your trust. They're canceling the debt from your trust, okay? And they're expecting you to pay that money back to the trust. They're telling you they're borrowing money from your trust to pay off the debt that was already paid off in the first place when you got it. And then they're turning around and they're making you pay it back to the trust. Why do I have to pay money back into my account when it's my account? What you're doing is, what you're about to do, bro, is open up a freaking whole can of worms, man. You're gonna put some questions up that are real hard questions for them to answer. And when they do, they step in it. They step in a big old pile of steam. That's what I do. That's what I do.
Excellent.
All right, so
I appreciate
it.
Thank you. Yes.
Thank you.
All right, brother.
Okay, 337. Go ahead. Uh-oh. I think 337 ran out on us. Okay. Alicia.
Hey, Chris. How you doing, hon?
All right. How are you?
I'm doing all right, I reckon. 3 quick questions.
Good.
Good. if a married couple bought a house, both are on the deed, but only one is on the mortgage, can the other spouse use a 1099-A to purchase the property from the other spouse that holds the responsibility of the mortgage? No. Okay, so a C has to be used.
You got to Pardon me?
A C has to be used.
No. What you guys are talking about doing is when you guys get married, it's not so much you that's getting married as it's the trust. The two trusts are being married together, so they're becoming one. So even though both your names are on the deed, but only one's on the mortgage, actually the other one is too. Because they're attached to each other. When you're talking about using a 1099-A to pay the mortgage off?
That would be a C.
Right? That's what you're...
C, cancellation of debt.
You ask them. You can't listen, folks. You cannot use a 1099-C to cancel the debt. You can't. The financial institutions do. That's what a 1099... That's who uses the 1099-C. That's why I don't talk about it much, because none of y'all are financial institutions yet. You're not yet. You could be a little later down the road. So what you would do is you'd go to the mortgage company and you'd say, look, it's in the best interest of the beneficiary, whoever's name the mortgage is in, goes in and goes, look, it's in the best interest of the beneficiary that this debt be canceled with a 1099-C.
Okay.
And what you're doing is you're putting the mortgage company in a position to be malfeasant if they don't do it.
Correct.
And they may say, you know what, we can do that. We can do that.
Okay.
Yeah, we can do that. Because that's what happens in bankruptcy.
A whole lot of questions.
Yeah, that is so. But what you can do is whoever's named the mortgage, say the mortgage company won't accept the 1099-C. Okay, right. You're malfeasant in office. I can hit you with a conditional acceptance. Or what I could do is take the next step. The next step is to write a letter to the corporation, care of the CEO, the bank, or whatever it is, and then send them the 1099-A. Okay, you wouldn't take my C, you wouldn't cancel the debt with a C. Here, I'm making a last final attempt to clear this mortgage debt. Enclosed, you'll find a 1099-A. And if you'll notice, it's endorsed on the back of the beneficiary's signature. Here it is. What you're doing in that case is you're going straight at them with, okay, you wouldn't cancel it, so I'm just going to pay it all off.
Okay.
Or I'm going to offer a 1099-A for you to use, trustee, to settle this debt. And then if they refuse that, more than likely they're going to keep your 1099-A, which means they already have.
Yeah.
When you guys are sending these remittance letters with the coupon or the 1099-A or both, you got the postal rule in here. And the postal rule is the rule of common law contract. So put right at the bottom, after you write the paragraph on the postal rule, put right underneath it, as you can observe, the postal rule is in effect, and this is a contract now, so you're contractually agreeing that you're accepting this 1099-A as payment for this mortgage.
Correct.
You just sent them a letter with the 1099-A that they can't turn around with now. Well, they may try. They can't turn around and go, well, we can't accept that. Well, you contractually did, Joker.
Yep.
So go ahead and do what you got to do. Now, you go get the money now. If they refuse, then you don't owe them anymore. Oh, so you're going to refuse my 1099-A? Fantastic. Send me the title.
Okay.
Because that's the way it goes. If you offer to pay off a debt that you owe and they refuse to accept it, you no longer owe that debt.
Okay.
And they know this.
They do. Yeah, they do, but they're still going to try to play games.
Yeah, well, you gotta be smarter than them.
Yep.
You know, you gotta be smarter than them. You gotta be gentle as a dove and as dangerous as a viper.
I like it. Okay, next question, hon. Is there a good reference point? Yes, I'm on your channel, on your page on Telegram. I've went through all the files. Is there a good point of reference to utilize a conditional acceptance letter? Like, do you have a template for different forms, like different ways to do one? Or no, is that something that needs created?
Well, we've got, I do. I don't know about the Telegram. I would say they probably do. I've got mine that I share from my child support. I've got a couple of traffic ones, and I've got the VAX and one for the mortgage, and But the thing about this is, y'all, I can send you a traffic one, and a really basic traffic conditional acceptance, and you can take the concept. The conditional acceptance is basically broke up into 4 parts. Learn the 4 parts, and then adjust them for whatever you want to do.
Okay.
The facts in the traffic one are an example of how to write some facts. What's your facts?
Right.
Write them down. Okay, the pertinent laws have to do with traffic. What are your pertinent laws, and how do they pertain to what it is you're talking about in the facts? And then the conditions. Most of the conditions in the traffic one don't necessarily involve the actual traffic. So you would dedact the traffic ones, and then you put your own in there that pertain to the conditions you wanted to see, plus the ones from the traffic that didn't pertain to the traffic. You'd use it in yours because they're universal.
Yes, I've noticed.
And then the last part is how they're going to pay, you know?
Right.
The last part is how they're going to pay. And that's going to be the same no matter what your conditional acceptance is.
Right.
So as far as there being a template, the traffic one's a template. You can take the child support one and look at it and go, well, how would I modify this for a mortgage or the tax?
Right.
You know, it's the concept. If you understand the concept of the conditional acceptance the basic format of how one is laid out, you could write a conditional acceptance and send it to me. And I've seen them. A lot of people are copy and pasting the stuff in the conditional acceptance, but then they add stuff.
Yes.
And then I look at it and go, wow, this is kind of different than, even though they're cutting and pasting, this one's really basically a lot different than the template. And that's fantastic because that tells me people are out here writing their own. And they're going to take what they get from the template.
I do notice that you reference black laws and common law throughout all of them. So.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. All right. That was it, Chris.
And
thank you.
Well, okay. Thank you for calling.
Thank
you. Okay. 214 area code. Go ahead.
Hey, y'all. This is Pam. Thank y'all for what you're doing. Chris, I've talked to you about this issue a couple of times, and I'm following your information that's on the Telegram site about the step-by-step process to lien. This is on an automobile note. I've already done the conditional acceptance. I'm ready to start doing my claim of lien and do the assignment. But I just kind of wanted to get just a little bit more in-depth information since I'm not going to be using UCC. What are the appropriate steps past, for my next step right after the conditional acceptance?
Okay, after the conditional acceptance, you're going to start the claims and lien. If you look at the video where I'm talking about the claims and lien, or you got a copy of they're just, a claim and lien is just 2 pages, and then the back is monetized. And you would take out any information that doesn't apply to the UCC documents would remain, and anything that does, you would take out. You just take it out, because these are older guys, and these are, the ones when you see the contract with the Treasury, and it's going to have all the tax documents and the UC. It's going to be a lot easier to write the contract because that stuff's not in there. You're not going to have, like for instance in the contract, you're not going to have any language that has to do with tax documents or the UCC, right? You're just going to have the claim and lien and the instrument number, and the 1040V is the only document you're going to name in the contract, because you're going to use the 1040V as the pay voucher. But the rest of it, you're in the contract, you're telling Janet Yellen, hey, here's the claim of, you guys probably heard this in the hearing, if you was watching the hearing. They were talking about the instrument, the conditional acceptance. They wasn't naming it, but they were talking about that being the surety for the UCC ones, and that's what the conditional acceptance is. It's the conditional acceptance that is the lien. The document that claims the debt is the one that actually is the lien. The claim liens you're going to create are going to be the claim lien, but then you monetize it. And that's why I said you don't even have to do the claim liens because the conditional acceptance is a claim lien. It's also the contract. You can monetize the back page of the last page of the conditional acceptance, and that's okay. They'll you attach that to the assignment agreement, put it in the contract with the Treasury. The reason I say do the claim of liens is because now you can separate. What you're doing is, let's say you've got a half a dozen people that you're going to hit, and you got a half a dozen people, then you got maybe two trust business entities or principals. What you're doing is you're pulling each one of those out of the contract, creating the claim of lien, and individualizing each one of the claims, and then you're monetizing each one of the claims, and you're giving it to them here. They don't have to split that up themselves, and you have a document now that you can take a copy of and send it to the person that the claim of lien's against. Now you know that there's a claim of lien. If you were just to take the conditional acceptance and monetize it and attach it to the assignment agreement and then give it to the contract and send it to the Treasury, these folks may never know that you just hit them. The Treasury will take that contract and take the conditional acceptance, split it up themselves. Here you go, IRS, go collect. They collect the money and the people don't even know. But what you can do by making the claim of lien is you can make a copy of that and then send each one of those individually to the person that's going to be hit. And they'll open it up. You can send it certified mail. So they've contractually agreed that they accepted it, which means they acknowledge that there's a claim of lien now. Right? It's proof that this person's been noticed separately from the contract, which basically would mean that they've been noticed twice. But now they know. When you send them the conditional acceptance, they open it up, they look at it and go, oh, this is bullshit. Throw it over in the corner. It's a little different when you send them the claim of lien. They go, oh, hell, where's that paperwork at? And then they look at it again, they go, oh, shit, I'm in trouble. Now what you did is you kicked it up a notch. And now they know. Now they know that they've been hit. And it has to do with noticing. Now, when you do those and you create the assignment agreement, and then you attach that all to the contract, you're telling Janet Yellen in the contract, look, I don't know how you're going to do this, nor do I really even care. All I know is this.
Uh-oh.
Whatever you got to do.
There we go.
Do whatever you got to do then. When you put it in their part.
Do you mind just, because you said things there about monetizing the lien, the claim of lien. You talked about a 1040V. And so I'm a little fuzzy on what you're talking about there with monetizing the lien and the 1040V.
Okay. When you watch the video, claim of lien, that I did on the claim of lien, it also explains monetizing. When I show you the claim of lien in the video, I'm showing you the first 2 pages of the claim of lien, okay? And then I show you the back of the second page. And it's got language there. It's got the instrument number. It's got the the amount, and it's got the beneficiary signature. If you take a check from your bank, right, or from your checkbook, that checkbook isn't worth anything until you put your signature on it. Right? This is what's up, folks. Your signature has value. Okay? Why? Because you are the full faith and credit of the American people. You're one of them. You back the dollar. So it takes that signature. It's not the money in your account that makes that check worth money. It's your signature on that document, the check, that gives the check value. If you have $20 in your account and you write a check for $50 and give it to someone, and they take that check to their bank, and they cash it, they're going to get $50 from their bank, even though you only got 20 in yours, right? So is that check worth $50? Yes. It's your signature that has the value, not money in your account. And that's what makes this claim of lien worth money. If you write on the back of the claim of lien, $3 million, here's the instrument number. The instrument number is the contract number for that individual you're writing the claim of lien about. It would be the certified mail number. You'd put that in as the instrument number on the back of the second page of the claim of lien. Then you'd put the amount. Then you'd have a signature line. Well, you just made that claim a lien. It was a claim a lien, and if you guys watched the hearing yesterday, she talked about how the UCC has no value. It doesn't have any value. That UCC 1 that was filed doesn't have any value at all. But if I were to turn that thing over and endorse the back of it and monetize the thing, then it'd be worth what it was. Then it'd be worth what I said it was. Because my signature backs the dollar. My signature is where the money's at. Here's another example. My dad, he had really good credit, man. Awesome. 820 or something like that. He could go into his bank. He ate breakfast every morning with the bank president. He could go into the bank and say, "I need $10,000, Jerry." Jerry would throw a contract out. He would sign his name to that contract, and the bank would give my dad $10,000. It's called signature loan. His signature was worth $10,000. That's why, because you backed the dollar. So the claim of lien, you're going to sign the back of it, and when you sign, if you watch the video, it shows you exactly how to make the claim of lien and how to monetize the back. Well, now that claim of lien is worth $4 million or $6 million or $3 million, right? You can assign that now. You can take that claim of lien and assign it, put it in the assignment agreement. The assignment agreement is basically saying, here, Janet Yellen, here's $4 million. It's all yours. And then when you attach that to the contract, the contract's going to say, according to the court, it might not even say it, but it's just going to be a given. When you attach it to the contract, then the contract's going to say, okay, it's yours 100%. Do what you got to do to collect, and you get 35%. That's basically, and they're going to do that. And you've heard me say about the $100 million guys. There's these $100 million guys. They got these bonds in their copies. They're certified copies. They may not be worth anything, but the minute they monetize the back of that thing and break it out like I did with the claim of lien, put $100 million on the back, when they send that to Janet Yellen, she's going to go, I don't know with this guy. I don't know what he's thinking or whatever, but we have the original bond. We've been making money off of it. But, hey, look at this guy here, man. He just made his copy worth $100 million by signing it. Okay, he signed it. Put $100 million on it. I really wasn't going to share this for a little while still, but I'm going to now. I was going to kind of hold off on this a little bit.
Well, if you want to, you can.
This could get crazy, but I will since I mentioned it. Your birth certificate. It's a certified copy, right? It's not the original. It's a certified copy. What's the original worth? Who knows?
Right.
There's a way of checking it out, though, right? I've heard some people say, well, I got in there and got in my birth certificate's worth this and that. Right? Well, if the original is if the birth certificate is a bond and it's a certified copy, then the genuine bond somewhere, somebody owns it, somebody's making money on it. If you could monetize the back of your birth certificate to make it worth some money, and and then send that birth certificate to the Treasury, like these $100 million bond guys are doing. Here, Janet Yellen, here's a certified copy of the birth certificate. If you notice, I monetized the back, $25 million. Hey, how many birth certificates can you order in a year?
I don't know that there's a limit.
I think there's 10.
Okay.
I think you can order 10 in a year. So what just happened, folks? That's the next thing to try. I was going to hold off until after the $100 million bond guys started getting their, showing some, some positive results. But if these guys can do this with a $100 million bond, then y'all can do this with a birth certificate.
Well, let me just ask you, too, after I send them my claim of lien, how long do I wait before I send the contract to the Treasury?
Well, they've already got the claim of lien, which is the conditional acceptance. Okay? So 10 days from the date on the letter, they've got 10 days. Unless they write you beforehand and tell you, we need more time. 10 days. Look, you can send this conditional acceptance out, and the very next day start making the claims of lien. Start making it. And on the 10th day, have your assignment document ready, your assignment agreement ready, with the claims of lien and the contract. You can send the contract off the day, 10 days after the date on the letter from the conditional acceptance. We did. We had the stuff ready to go. Oh, guess what? It's the 10th day. These people haven't met any of these conditions. Send it off. Send off the contract. We had 10 days after we put the date on the letter on the conditional acceptance. We already had our claim of liens written out. We had all of our tax documents together. We had our UCC1 filings and UCC3. We had our contract with the Treasury. And the day 10 days is up, that packet was in the mail on its way to the Treasury. So you don't have to wait not a day past 10 days.
How long did it take before you heard the response from the packet?
From the Treasury?
Yes.
Is that what you're saying? We didn't hear from them. We didn't hear from the Treasury. So what does that mean? What does that mean? If we don't hear from the Treasury, what does that mean?
That means they accepted it.
If I have a contract with the Treasury and I send it off, and I get the green card back, or I get on the tracking site, and it shows that it's been delivered to the Treasury, and 45 days is up, what does that mean? Because, see, you're going to say in the contract, if there's anything wrong with the document, you got my power of attorney to fix it. Or you can send it back to me, explaining what's wrong, and I'll fix it. So if you don't get it back, or you don't hear from them saying that it needed to be fixed, you hear nothing but crickets 45 days later, what's up? They've acquiesced to the contract. You don't hear from them in 45 days. If you put on the contract at the top of the contract to the right, like I like to do with the conditional acceptance, so it gives you a place to write a date. if I mailed it out today and I put on there, April the 7th, 2022, 45 days from today, if I don't hear from you, then we're good. We got a contract. At that point, we said in the contract, we'll take gold and silver, but in lieu of gold and silver, we'll take Federal Reserve notes, bank drafts, all the other stuff that we broke down. We even said trust credits. We said trust credits. I didn't realize that till the other day when I was the significance of that. Until the other day, it kind of hit me. I was like, damn. Well, that's why. That might have been one of the reasons why they sent the money straight to the Treasury. We told them we'd take it in trust credits.
Huh.
They sent it right to our trust, exactly like we told them. You can send me $132.6 million in cold cash. That would have been one heavy load. Or you can send it trust credits. That's exactly what they did. They sent it to the trust.
So we probably have enough time to take a few more people.
Yeah.
I'll let you know.
Okay.
Okay, so does that answer your question?
Yes, I thank you both. I thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, go get them. Don't waste no time. That's your money.
Okay.
Steve, how you doing? Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Yeah, man.
I just can't see you.
Okay, perfect.
Oh, there you are. Billionaire. Go ahead.
I'm on my phone. But I was calling, so I had a couple questions. The first question is regarding to my mother's case. As far as my brother was driving a car and it was in my mom's name. He got in an accident. He didn't have insurance. The insurance company sued both my mom and him for the damages. An attorney has it. I mean, not when my mom texted me. And because it was in her name, they're stating that she has to pay it, and so does my brother, her son. And if they don't, they say that they'll suspend her license. So I'm curious as to should I just have her send in a 1099A form to just go ahead and clear everything, or how would you handle a conditional acceptance letter? How would you handle everything going forward from here, or what videos would you recommend for me to study regarding this case specifically?
Okay. What I would do is start with the 1099A. Send it to him. Say, okay, here you go. Matter of fact, I put a couple extra $1,000 on it for you there. Just because I feel bad about whoever got hit. You can probably let your brother do the same thing, the same amount. Then they're getting twice as much money. Send them a 1099A. Say, look at, here we go. I'm going to settle the debt. Oh, you don't want it? Now, if they try to take the license, take your mom's trust license from her, if they try to do that, when you do go after the conditional acceptance, you'll be going after the director of the Department of Homeland Security in your state. That's what I did. They tried to suspend my license over some crap, and I ended up putting a $4 million lien on the director of the Tennessee Department of Homeland Security, because that's where DOT is at now. It falls under the Department of Homeland Security in the state. But if you send them the 1099A, do it with the letter. You know what I mean? Send them the letter just like you do the remittance letter. You don't have to use all the language about the statement and the bond and the coupon and stuff, because you're not using that. but you're going to send it certified mail. You're going to notarize it, and make them a nice letter. Whoever it is you're sending this to, send it to their principal in care of whoever's the head cheese, and then send it to them. Say, look, I've got, because here's what's up. They made your mom an offer, right?
Yeah, I believe
that's what they did. Yeah, well, yeah, and that's what they did. They said, here's the offer. Pay this money or we're going to suspend your license. That's extortion. Okay? And that's conspiracy to commit extortion. If you don't pay this money, we're going to suspend your license. You could even mention that. I'm willing to overlook your extortion, your attempts at extorting me into paying this. So therefore, I'm going to pay this debt. Here it is. You refuse it. That's not your mom's fault.
Okay, so does that answer your question?
Yes. So that was part of the first part of it. If I could just go ahead and ask the second part, it'll be quick. As far as the coupons that you were referring to as well too, also as well, she says a lot of coupons. But with those coupons, why would you prefer to go ahead and send in a coupon rather than going ahead and just applying the FDCPA laws with them and holding them civilly liable and pursuant to 15 U.S.C. 69.2K, and that's minimum $1,000 per each violation, and that can dispute the debt as well too. So is that a way you can go about it as well too? Maybe even with the coupon as well too, piling on those USC Chapter 6 Title 15.
If you're going to do that, if you're going to do that, and then you're going to send the coupon too, you just made yourself an accessory. Look, they're already committing crimes by double dipping. They're already committing trust fraud. So here's the deal. Here it is. Here's the coupon. You were committing a crime. You're double dipping. But here, I'm here to settle the debt. Here's the coupon. You're putting them in a position that they're busted out. You're busted out now. Accept this coupon, because that's what they're doing anyway. They're redeeming the coupon. They're used to redeeming the coupon. I mean, so you go at them with what you're talking about. Yeah. I'd say send the coupon.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd say send a coupon. It's just a lot easier. Are you familiar with? You sent. Yeah. I get you. Where you're coming from? Because it's already paid. I mean, if you wanted to do all that, you could say, "Look, man, I don't even know why you're sending me a coupon. This is already paid, and all these years you've been hitting me up for money that's already been cleared a long time ago." But you could argue that it's just better to, I think, to put them in a position where they know you know. Oh, damn, here's somebody that knows. Go ahead and just handle this shit and get it out of the way. Get him out of the way. Because we got 9,999 more people that don't understand this. They're going to let us double dip. And this is about discharging all this bullshit debt that everybody's got. You can do it. Try it. Hey, dude, try it, man. Let me know how it works.
Yeah,
I'm all about trying some new stuff, man. I mean, what's the worst that's actually what happen?
I did just do. That's exactly what I did just do. I just tried it. I was like, yeah, exactly. What is the worst that can happen? I sent in the coupon. I also exercised a couple laws within the FDCP in which they violated, and then 1692K, which also would hold them civilly liable for each violation in the FDCPA for $1,000. So I hit them with that. I just sent that out certified mail yesterday, so I'm waiting for a response on that. And I know I said one last question, but I just want to get this one off my chest because I just filled it out, the W-A-B-E-N form. Where would I send this into? Because I'm not a W-2 employee, nor am I a 1099-A or 1099. I may be considered it, but I own my own LLC and I just pay myself out. I haven't even filed taxes in the past 2 years, nor have I set up myself to pay myself. I don't pay myself. I guess I'm on paper, but obviously through the business. Yeah. So where would I send in the WAB? Okay.
Send it to the IRS.
Perfect. I appreciate you greatly.
Look, yeah, man. Anytime you guys send stuff to the IRS, if you're not sure where it goes, you don't know specifically where it goes, send it to Washington, D.C. They'll look at it and they'll send it where it needs to go. That's what's happened with all of you laws, a lot of y'all's stuff you're sending off right now. It's going to the Washington, D.C., and then it's going to Ogden, Utah. Whoa, man. Hey, Chris, I just got my green card back. They sent it to Ogden, Utah. What's up, man? Am I in trouble? No, you're not. They're collecting your money. That's where they collect at, Ogden, Utah. And they'll let them figure out where it's supposed to go.
Okay, so does that answer your question?
Yes, it does. I appreciate you both greatly.
Okay, thank you.
God bless you both.
Okay.
Bless you too, brother.
541 area code. Go ahead. Five, 4, 1. Go ahead.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yeah, man.
Okay, it took me a while to hook everything up. Chris, I have a couple of questions. Would you make a video that goes through the steps of buying the house? For example, I have a neighbor who's selling their house that I want. They have a realtor. I assume I talk to the realtor and then offer payment through the 1099-A, or do I use a letter of credit for payment?
Okay, I see what you're saying. No, do a 1099-A. Hey, do you have a contract with the Treasury yet that says they owe you a buttload of money?
Yes, I do.
Okay. As long as you got the contract, then you can do letters of credit if you understand the letter of credit and how you got to go about doing it.
That's the next thing I need to learn.
Yeah, that's seems like that would be the one you want me to do first. The letters I do the 1099-A. Letters of credit, y'all. It's not that hard, man. Dude, you could probably figure out how to do a letter of credit just with a little research. They're really not that hard to do. The only reason I haven't got too deep into it is because I don't want a lot of people out here doing it. Oh man, I got a Social Security account. I don't know how much is in it, but well, hell, let's just start writing letters of credit. No, that's a good way to get yourself jammed up really bad. Go do a little time in Club Fed. You gotta. You can't just be a secured party. You have to be a secured party creditor, which means you have to have them owing you some money, and to know that you can do that. Otherwise, it's like you're writing checks and you don't know what your balance is. Like you did, you just said.
Sounds like my ex-wife.
Yeah. Yeah, like you just said, yeah. Or the one you got right now.
Okay,
man.
so if she's golden.
Yeah.
Now, so if we go with a 1099-A and then we do all the additional forms to do it and put it together, send it in, and we're waiting and waiting and waiting, and supposedly in 45 days they're supposed to pay the guy.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
on the chance that they don't, then I assume we call the IRS or Treasury Department and say, hey, what's going on with this? Why isn't it being paid?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, when I say 45 days, y'all, it's 45 days is between 30 and 60, and that's usually when that's going to hit. So if you don't hear something in 45 days, you can probably call and check. Definitely don't go past 60. Don't go past 60 without calling and going, hey, man, what's up? Oh, well, we've got a slight problem here, and but we're working on it. We'll have you something out in a couple of weeks. Then you can call them back and say, look, man, I just talked with the Treasury, and they're going to pay you in 2 weeks. They'll hold on. But you're a different story, dude. If you got the capabilities of writing a letter of credit, you can just give them a letter. Hey, you guys want a letter of credit? You go to the buyer. Look, we're having trouble getting the Treasury to pay. Would you accept a letter of credit? Yeah, sure, man. Figure out how to do it.
Now,
Go ahead, bro.
I've been researching the letter of credit, and everything I come up with is like the IRS has, or Treasury has letter of credits, but they have a zillion forms. The samples I've been able to find online were letter of credit that were issued by banks or financial institutions, but nothing on the...
That's you.
So I am the bank.
If you're telling all of us are banks, all of us are banks, except you're a bank who knows you got a certain amount. I'm a bank that knows I'm a certain amount. Joe Cool down the road doesn't have a contract, but you know what? He does have a trust account that has money in it. He just doesn't know how much money he can write letters of credit on. If you've got proof that for one reason or another they owe you $30 million, well, you can write up to $30 million of letters of credit because you are a bank. Look, if we back the dollar, are we not the bank of the dollar?
True.
That's what's up. You are a financial institution, dude. And what you're telling me is you for some reason or another, you've got documentation proving that they owe you money. And if that's the case, then you are a bank. People that are writing these 1099-As and paying off their debt, they are a bank. If you can go and have the Treasury be your lender, and they're lending you money from your trust, then you are a bank. You just got them withdrawing it for you. Why? Because you're the beneficiary. You can't withdraw it on your own. You have to have someone do it for you. And that's where you're at, dude. If they don't, if time's up and you want to know why they haven't paid, look into it. Call the IRS, call the Treasury, call the Inspector General. Call the Inspector General's office. Find out what's up. Why ain't you paid? Is there something y'all need me to do? Oh no, we got this, sir. It'll be a couple more weeks, or whatever the case may be. If you don't want to play around with that no longer, do a letter of credit. like I said, y'all,
Okay.
I'm gonna be breaking that down in about a month from now because, like yourself and a few others, folks are going, yeah, I did the 1099A in 45 days or 60 days or whatever. If they're doing that and conditional acceptances, I've read, I was looking over conditional acceptances 2 months ago. So people are, a month ago was talking about the contracts and stuff. So, people should be starting to hit with that here in the next couple of weeks. Hey, my 45 days is up. Okay, here's what we're going to do. We're going to do a letter of credit. Then you guys can start going out there and, writing these letters of credits to invest in businesses, buy into people's businesses, and have them go to the mailbox once a month and pick up a check, or writing letters of credit to your nonprofit organization that you just created, or whatever the case may be. That's where it's at. That's why I'm telling folks, man, conditional acceptance is where it's at. Get yourself on the books like you've done. Get them owing you. Get proof that they're owing you something. And a contract's the way to do it.
All right, so does that answer your question?
Yes, it does. Actually, I have several more, but I'm not going to ask them.
Right,
if you don't mind, I'd like to put a little plug in for anybody listening here. You need to get on with Tad's website. Tons of great information. It's worth it. So thank you, everybody. Thank you, Tad, for hosting.
Yeah, thanks for calling in.
Okay, you guys take care.
Yeah, you too, brother. Have a blessed night.
Okay, so I think we have one. We're going to take one more call. I think people are getting tired. I know I am. So, restricted.
Hello. How you doing tonight?
Hey.
I figured it was you. Go ahead.
Yeah. I had several questions I think that everybody would like to know. On a beneficiary account, is that the strawman name in all caps?
On the beneficiary account?
Yes. Would be the beneficiary. Would you put
the account? When you go to sign up for a beneficiary account, you can do the hyphens and the colons and all that stuff with your name. They're going to all caps the account. The ATM card you're going to get is going to be in all caps. The mail you're going to get is going to be in all caps. Well, of course it is, because the all caps name is a trust name. But
this is can this be a checking account?
Yeah. Checking account, savings account, mortgage account, CDs, any of that stuff. I got a beneficiary CD. The only thing the beneficiary is doing is it's identifying you not as the trust, but as the beneficiary of that trust. So it's the signatures where that's at. Signatures where the money's at.
Okay, then my other question was on a conditional acceptance format. When you're doing a party that stole from you, do you have to have their social security number on there, or their name, address, and all that is okay, or?
All you need is their name and their address. You're not going to get their. Most of these people, you guys are doing the conditional acceptance again. Matter of fact, probably all of them. I mean, you're not going to.
None of them are going to give it to you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, and see, that's why when you're identifying the the people that you're doing this to, you're always putting them in their human capacity, doing business as your all caps name, and doing business as their all caps name, and doing business as whatever the title of job they have. Or when you guys look at those, you're that's how you can do this and actually the human, because you're getting all of them. You're getting the human, you're getting the and what's going to happen is like, say you're going after the chief of police, or you're going after the chief of police. He's one of them, because one of his officers gave you a ticket. You're going after him in his human capacity and doing business as a trustee in your trust, and him also doing business as his trust, and him also doing business as the chief of police of Dallas. You know what I mean?
Yes.
When you send that document to the Treasury, they're going to go, okay, first off, this guy is the chief of police of Dallas. And he's also, here's his trust name. And, well, wow, here's his human name. And then there's an address to where you're sending the conditional acceptance. They will take all that information and they will get his Social Security number. They'll get it. The IRS, when it comes time to collect, the IRS is going to go, who's this guy right here that does this job right here? Here's his name and here's his street address. They're going to pull his Social Security number right up. Okay, get into his trust and get that $3 million out. That's why you don't need it. And like when you're looking at the Ron Lyons, the cop that pulled him over, his name was Matt Webb. He didn't know that when he was doing the conditional acceptance, so he just put M. Webb. The IRS figured out who M. Webb was and went after their trust.
Okay. On the claim of lien, I've heard some of the comments today. If you tell the truth on the lien, and even have police reports on the amount of theft of machinery and vehicles and everything they stole from you, then here's an example. Say you have $20 million loss of business inventory, and then through the future actually it would go into hundreds of millions of dollars of loss of use because it's gone. Could you put the $20 million loss plus the 200M, or we could do it in a 369 configuration, only higher, but
however you want to. I'm just wondering, would that
fly, or are you allowed only the loss of the business inventory?
No, we're not. You're allowed whatever you want. Because
I want punitive damages, you know. That's my problem, is so much loss.
That's how you're going to get it. You're going to get it because you're going to share 32%, 36%, 35% of it with the Treasury.
Oh, okay.
That's how you recover. I spent over $70,000 out in child support. Over 15 years or whatever it was, or however many years it was. And when I went at him with the conditional acceptance, I thought, well, maybe I should be able to get this $70,000 back. Yeah, I am going to get it back, but I'm not going to get $70,000 back. I'm going to get a bunch back. And
Good.
Out of the $4 million is where I'm going to recover my $70,000 at.
Good.
So you pick, You pick out the price that you want to do, because you got to remember.
Well, I didn't want to go to prison. I didn't want to go to prison because they said, "Oh, this is fraudulent lien." You know.
Now, the only way you're going to go to prison for it being a fraudulent lien is if you do the UCC one.
Oh.
You got to remember, you're not going to be filing any liens. The Treasury's going to file the liens.
Good. They can lock them up, right?
Yeah. Well, they're not going to do
okay.
that.
Then, real quick on real estate. I know, right? Real quick on properties. Could you get one home and one business property in 1 year?
You can't use the trust if you're talking about a 1099-A to buy the property. You can't use the property to buy a business. You can't use the trust.
Okay, well, it would be for enjoyment then.
Absolutely.
Then the other question,
this stuff, folks.
Along this line, can you get the extra money in it for property taxes, insurance, sales tax, and realtors' commissions? Because that's a huge hunk.
Well, you got to think about it this way. You're not going to pay any taxes. If you guys are doing what I'm telling you to do, or if you guys are doing what I would suggest you do, you're going to be taking this stuff out of the taxes.
Okay, got that part.
You talk about paying taxes. Why? Why are you going to pay taxes on anything ever again?
Okay.
Get your mind away from the fact that you think you got to pay, because you don't have to pay taxes. Nobody has to. It's all voluntary. If it's all voluntary, what makes you think you have to?
Well, yeah, I'm aware of that part.
You buy a house, you're not going to have to pay taxes unless you want to. That's where that's at.
I was going to mention,
as far as insurance goes, if you got a 1099-A, you're insured.
There you go.
Right,
now
John.
I have, God, you got to let me have two important ones. So I've got 5 certified birth certificates in hand by the Secretary of State. So technically that could be 5 amounts.
Yeah.
If I turn them into
you could monetize. That's why I was saying
bond.
that. If you could, you could create a. Let's see how they go. Let's see how they go with the $100 million bond, guys. If they get paid, everybody's going to do this. So everybody's out here going, hey, who do I got to talk to get this $100 million bond?
I wonder if they'll ever tell us. I hope they tell us. But then,
the $100 million. Sooner or later, one of the $100 million bond guys is going to tell.
Okay, the other big question. Everybody wants to know this. Maybe they already know it. I would like to know how much the U.S. Treasury has in my Cestui Que Trust.
You're going to have to wait till you're 65.
I'm 70.
Yeah. Have you used Social Security at all?
Yeah, I use it.
Have you mentioned? Yeah, okay. Well, too late.
I've already paid. I paid in over $150,000 in it, so it's my money.
Yeah, man. Yeah, no, it's not. It's their money.
Okay, so it's their money, but how much other money do they have in there that they made off of me? That's what I want to know.
Yeah. Well, they're not making money off you. They're putting money into it. You say you got $120,000 in your trust. Well, they put millions into your trust.
No, I'm aware of that. I could have $100 million in there.
You probably got more than that.
I
Because
put 150 in it over a lifetime.
People that make a whole lot of money, they're expected that they're going to produce a whole lot of value, more than others. So a doctor is going to have a lot more in his trust than the garbage man. But the garbage man's going to have a bunch of money in his too. You're not going to know that. If you're past the age of 65 and you've used your Social Security number one time, after 65, you have recontracted to accept that you're a beneficiary and they are the trustee. It'll be that way till you're dead. You'll never figure out what's off ledger. It's just a part of it. The trust matured and you continue to utilize the benefits from the trust.
Can I use a birth certificate?
Can you use what? To know how much is...
Can I write something on a birth certificate like, hey, let's get $50 million in here?
Well, that's kind of what we're talking about. It's the concept. If the $100 million bond guys can take a copy of a bond and get $100 million put into it and get 65 back, well, then you could theoretically do the same thing with the birth certificate as these guys are doing with the $100 million bond.
What's the odds of being... Okay, when do you think we might know on that one?
As soon as they start hitting. Right. There's a few guys that have sent their multi-million-dollar bonds off. We're going to wait and see how it works.
All right, John.
You can try it now if you want to, John.
Well,
I don't try it now if you wanted to.
I've got a lot of things going on. I have no time for kids.
I know.
I've got 4. If I wrote a 50, and then they said, oh, well, you only had 30, so you wrote 20 over, you're in hot water. Well, then my question to them is, why didn't you tell me what I had?
I think that you can. I think there's a way to find out what your birth certificate's worth. And if you find out that your birth certificate's worth $75 million, well, you ought to be able to make copy bonds at $75 million. And you got 10 of them a year. Well, if you could do 10 of them a year, the Treasury's going to say, slap some money into that birth certificate certified copy. Let's get paid.
You could do 10 75s a year?
If that's what you had in the original bond.
I thought maybe you could only do one.
You can get 10 copies. If you're allowed 10 copies a year, certified copies, you could actually monetize 10 of those a year and send them to the Treasury, and the Treasury would go, whoa, here's another of those birth certificate bonds. Throw some money in it.
And
I don't know. We'll see, though.
They're going to take 35% of whatever I create.
They got to get theirs. Yeah.
Oh, well, they ought to love me. They ought to love me to do it.
That's my point. Well, like I said, they haven't freaking sniped old Chris out. Why? Because I might be their biggest freaking cash cow they've ever had. Let that guy talk.
All right, so John.
Thanks for calling, John.
Yeah, we got to close this off.
Hey.
Thank you, John. Thank you. Okay, so you guys, please join the mailing list at youhavetheright.com and consider joining our monthly membership, because these calls, they are long, but we take the subjects and categorize them in about 8 to 10 different categories to make it easier and shorter for you. So, Chris, thank you very much for being here tonight, and we'll see you guys again next week.
Right, yeah.
Good night.
Good night, y'all.